If you're an ADA holder, it's been a very wild ride. It wasn't long ago. We were doing videos watching ADA break all-time highs above $3. Now here we are watching ADA hit a target of 50 cents. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you coming in. This is a Cardano chart. We're going to dig into the charts. We're going to talk about the 50 cent target that it got hit. I can't believe it got hit. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what's in store for Cardano. First, before we do, special shout out to our sponsors. This is a sponsored video. Cardashift launched today. We're going to talk about that. Hit the timestamps towards the end of this video. But shout out to them. And just such a good example, everyone, of and a motivation of what we all should be doing in this type of environment, this downtrend. Build. Builders are really the foundation of the Cardano ecosystem, and the builders are building right now, no matter what price is doing. And that is very encouraging to see the fundamentals as strong as ever in terms of Cardano. So we have to underline this video with that, right? We're looking at price and we're looking at the downtrend and stuff. This is cyclical. This is what happens in crypto. It's why we were ready for it. But just remember what's going on behind the scenes and how this is extremely early stage. Though risky, it is early stage. And we have to commend the builders that are building right now. 51 cents on the charts. You can see it. There it is. This is, so I did this video. I'm not going to show you a clip, but this video is from January 8th, 2022. We started looking at the potential setup that was getting ready to happen if we entered this bearish environment. Something triggers an event where cryptos are falling. 50 cents was kind of that macro target. And in this video, even the clip, and I posted on Twitter, I said, I don't think it's going to happen, but we have to be ready. And here we are. It happened. It was a slow move, and we've tracked every step of the way. It's been grueling. I use that word a lot, grueling. We hit the 80 cent target, and we started to form some structure, potential support, and then boom, it was a very quick fall to the 50 cent target. And I mean, this 50 cent target, if we go back here to the 6-hour chart real quick, just zooming in, this just happened. Like as I was getting ready really to do this video, it was hit. And now the question on my mind, and I'm sure yours, is, well, what next? It would be a picture perfect if ADA just bounced off of this, and that was the low. The issue with that is Bitcoin. The issue with that is Luna and what that has attracted to the crypto space in terms of really trust and confidence right now in the crypto space, paired with ultimately traditional markets. And everything going on in the world right now. There's a war going on top of all this, meaning crypto can continue falling, right? So we have to be extraordinarily careful right now. But from a technical analysis perspective, and as we use the maps or the charts as a map, a roadmap, we have to just start tracking now structure in a similar way where we started looking for structure back here when Cardano hit an 80 cent target that we were kind of tracking simultaneously with the 50 cent target. So we got some structure, and then going over to the daily chart, what we were trying to track was a bullish reversal. So, here was that first bounce off of 80 cents, revisit to 80 cents, consolidation, and then boom, 20-day moving average actually started seeing an uptrend as Cardano took off to the upside, and we were starting to see, can ADA start seeing support above these moving averages, the 50-day, the 20-day, and start putting in the higher highs, higher lows. That's generally the type of picture we see in a bullish environment, is a move like that. We were waiting for a bullish confirmation move like that, and it didn't happen. We got very quickly rejected below the 20-day moving average, and Cardano continued falling. That was kind of a bearish confirmation more than anything. And so we have to take all of these things in stride along with what's going on in crypto markets and what's going on in Bitcoin. And before we dig into the next price move for Cardano and structure and what that looks like, for some, I think, important information, I just want to note this. A couple things actually on the Bitcoin chart. Number one, I talked about this on a Twitter space that I did earlier today that I was on. This is Bitcoin on the weekly. Look at it. approaching this historically oversold area. Last time in this general vicinity was the COVID swing low. Before that was the bear market low of 2018. Before that was the bear market low of 2015. And before that was all the way back here in like 2012. Each time Bitcoin was forming its bottoming area, zone, whatever you want to call it, and on its way to huge gains, right? So that isn't to say that this is going to happen again, but with the fear and with so many people now calling for crypto winter and calling for things to really get bad, and they could, just keep that in mind as you're kind of analyzing and trying to figure out what to do with your portfolio. This data point, I think, is very important. So this isn't financial advice, obviously, but I think this data in terms of any altcoin that you own, or if you're just owning Bitcoin, is extraordinarily important. And I wanted to point that out. Now, on top of that, in terms of the Bitcoin chart as it applies to Cardano, I want to point this out as well. Bitcoin in 2017 swing high to the bear market low was down like right around 85%, right? It's like 84, 85%. You see that there. Right now, if we go over here to the daily chart, Cardano in this cycle that it's in, and Cardano is still a pretty new coin. It's not as old as Bitcoin. Cardano right now is down 83, 84%. Bitcoin was down 85% in that last cycle. Did that mean on this weekly chart that Bitcoin was done? Did it mean that? It didn't mean that at all, right? In this up and coming technology that is Bitcoin, this drop was actually a great opportunity. And if we go look at Cardano and what it's doing, and we actually start zooming out on the charts, look at this. This is a very similar drop right now to the 200-week moving average, even just below as we sit here and 4 days left on the weekly chart. This drop and this new technology, as Cardano continues to build out its network right now in this era of scalability, Cardano proving itself over the years, over and over again. The fundamentals are so sound, I'm not really going to talk about them right now. Is it okay that Cardano's dipping 80+%? Bitcoin did it. Why can't Cardano? That's my general thought. These are the cycles of crypto. Crypto is so volatile, and altcoins more volatile than Bitcoin. So we can anticipate these moves. And that's why it's realistic to talk about all the way back here in January, 50-cent targets. It's why it's realistic, is because unfortunately, this is what cryptos do. But also fortunately, it's what cryptos do. In my view, and this, you have to take this with a grain of salt, opportunities start beginning to form here where the fear is high and the risk is definitely, right, glaring in our face. We know that. We just saw what happened with Luna. Anything can happen. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is, when we get into crypto, this is what we've signed up for. We know this. We've tracked this data time and time again in terms of downside. So putting that aside, here we are. Cardano hit the target. What is next? I kind of want to go and talk about this trend line once again that I actually charted. I think it was yesterday's live stream. You see this trend line stemming all the way back to November 2018 on the Cardano chart. We have these two swing highs here that we kind of, we're putting the trend line over really the top of the wicks there, and then we're just pulling it up. And last night's video, we talked about the interesting area on this chart where that trend line is confluent with the 50-cent targets, right? We talked about it's a pretty intriguing data point to track for Cardano. And it is even now as I do the video on this daily chart, almost 3 hours left of the daily candle. Will Cardano close the daily candle above or below this area? It's kind of on the short term what I'm watching. Will the candle just very aggressively continue to break to the downside and close overextended or separated from that trend line 50-cent target? I mean, could Cardano close below in the 40-cent range, 45-cent range, 10% below this support area? Be very interesting. Or will structure begin forming now? Either way, the 50-cent area, this trend line area, I'm curious, and we can only speculate to see what kind of formation comes now, right? Would it be a bounce and maybe an ascending triangle in play that we can start tracking? Or will it be kind of more of Cardano falling through and actually starting to form structure around it in a different way, a symmetrical triangle of sorts? What will happen? This is why I'm here tracking these things, but I'm tracking it so that I can anticipate. And so that when I am buying ADA, I know what's going on in the charts. I know where targets are. I know where support areas are. I know where bullish confirmations are. I know where bearish confirmations are. The other trend line down here, as I was setting up this video, I started to notice was this. If I go all the way back here and I say, okay, I would like to include this move, right? This was right, July 2020 swing high going into this higher low, right? But if I want to include, as Cardano's coming out of COVID and into this swing high, if I want to include this swing high, what would happen if I kind of take it from back here, kind of bring it down a little bit, going through these weekly swing highs, and just chart it over, right? And here's what we have. Now we have, from where Cardano is right now, this trend line going to around 35 cents. And we're creating kind of new targets here, right? So if Cardano doesn't see this immediate support here at 50 cents, what's interesting about this 35-cent area is this previous swing low to swing high, where we did not see higher low support at the Fibonacci channel in green there. You see the 618 around 93 cents, 786 around 86 cents. We have the 1618 lower low area in play. So now we're in this kind of interesting support area where we have 50 cents that we just talked about, all the way down to 35 cents, and confluent in the middle of those areas is a 1618 of a Fibonacci on the zoomed out daily chart. So I think right now, anywhere in this general vicinity, we could start seeing Cardano form structure to the downside. If Cardano doesn't see support immediately at the 50-cent targets, we're looking at another 20 to 30% to the downside for Cardano to be prepared for. In this video, I said in January, and there's no telling what was going to happen, I said 50 cents to around $1 is a heavy accumulation area for me. And I will admit in this video, for sure, no problem, in hindsight, because I've been buying Cardano, I wish I would have waited a little bit to put fiat into crypto markets most recently, right? I would say probably as Cardano was consolidating in this general area, on-chain metrics for Bitcoin looking so solid and so bullish, I probably was buying a little heavier than I should have. I still have fiat available, but now it's kind of like, all right, don't do that same thing again right here if there is a potential for downside. So for me, it's just kind of like easing into it, right? And this is us. This is all of us, everybody, trying to find the best approach to accumulation. Some people just have a set it and forget it, automatic buys, dollar cost averaging. I like to utilize the charts in a way where I'm kind of averaging in and utilizing the roadmap that is before us on these charts. And that's kind of my approach. I can't tell you how much I'm buying, when I'm buying, but that's been my approach. Looking back though, I do wish I would have went a little bit lighter with my buys in that general vicinity, like the 80 cent range, we can call it. But needless to say, the opportunity here in the long term for Cardano is there. I see it. It's not financial advice at all. Everybody, you have to really sit back and plan yourself how you want to go about these markets. It's so risky. We see that. We see what just happened with Luna. This altcoin, ADA, is down over 80%. That just shows you how risky. And the thing is, we knew all along that was possible, right? So that's the purpose of this YouTube channel, is to prepare for these scenarios, but it's also to prepare for the bullish scenarios as well. And on the long-term zoomed out chart, I see so much bullish potential for Cardano. Don't forget the Vassal hard fork in play end of June. What will that do, right? Will Cardano find technical support on these charts because of Vassal hard fork? Get a bounce to the upside? Time will tell. We'll continue tracking it. In the immediate short term, I want to track the 50 cents, see the structure that forms now that we've hit the target that we've been talking about for months, all year long, talking about the potential downside of 50 cents, and it's here. And so I really am curious to track to see what Cardano does and how it interacts with that area finally. And we're gonna do that. If anything crazy happens tonight, I told my wife I have a feeling something's gonna crazy happen tonight on the charts. I'll probably do a live stream or something. So keep your eyes out for that if it happens. But this is what I'm tracking on the immediate short term. And then just shifting over here to Cardashift, who's sponsoring this video. And I'm so proud to have all the sponsors of Crypto Capital Venture, because they're awesome teams, and they're awesome teams that are building awesome products and implementing awesome ideas. And In this case, Cardashift, if you're not aware, is community-run launchpad that raises funds, builds and accelerates startups that are solving social and environmental issues. Clap utility token bring Cardashift's ecosystems to life. So what happened is today they launched their launchpad. It's live today. It's big news, and it's such a good example. It's such a good illustration when markets are down and Cardano is hitting a 50-cent target that something like this is happening. We should be supporting these projects and rooting for them, and also just thanking them for utilizing Cardano, right, as its foundation. Cardashift utilizing Cardano as its foundation in terms of doing this. So go follow them on Twitter. I'll put a link in the description. But look at the team too. Like 35 plus humans with diverse competencies joining Cardano community. Just a huge team. And look at this. All of these people are building Cardashift and building on top of Cardano. And this is their launchpad page where basically steps are easy. Discover batch genesis projects. So there's 10 projects here. Get clap before registration to maximize your voting tickets and rewards. Register on the launchpad to participate in the voting round. Get voting tickets by holding clap. Vote for projects you want to support and fund. Maximum 4 projects per batch. Get rewarded for participating in the voting process. So talk about a decentralized approach to blockchain, a decentralized approach to launching projects, giving the community rights to vote and rights to have a voice and take part in these things. It is awesome. So go follow them. Thank you again to Cardashift for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you out there for watching. Hit the subscribe and like on the way out. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.